Hey, Internet. Welcome to another one of our seemingly daily, at least during the week here, Nerd Immersion streams, where we are going to talk about D&D. Today, it is the 2024 D&D Dragon redesign. Now, we've seen a few of these already. Some of the probably the most infamous, I would say, at this point is the Gold Dragon, which has taken a drastic change towards its. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, there's going to be a lot of happy birthdays coming in. It is my birthday. I am 38 today. So, yeah, it's been a good day so far. Technically, Vecna Eve of Ruin, the campaign I play in every Thursday, I technically got to start my day with that because our campaign it went till about 1:30 in the morning. So I got to technically start my day with D&D. And pretty exciting actually. So that's over I was on Captain Robert's Twitch channel. Actually tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm actually going to be back on Robert's channel. So I'm going to start my day with D&D and then also end it with D&D. And here's the crazy part. The cool part. Tonight, it's going to go from 8 to midnight, and it is a charity stream to support St. Jude's Children Fund. So I believe. It's going to be a charity stream. It's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely worth coming and hanging out. And there's donations and all sorts of funky stuff you can do because it's a charity stream. You know how these get. You can do all sorts of weird stuff to all the characters, and donate for wild things. He put out it is St. Jude charity stream, and basically the incentives you can donate towards to give the party inspiration dies, right? D6, D8, D10, D12 inspiration, advantage, lucky. So grant a reroll on anything that's not a natural 1 or a natural 20. Give a character, monster, or NPC a quirky trait from a D100 personality table. Grant the party divine intervention. Make Robert eat like a super Carolina Reaper habanero pepper hot chip, and pull a card from the deck of many things. So that is all available. Things you can do. That's over. It'll be again on Captain Robert, twitch.tv/Captain Robert. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So you can come hang out and watch me and some of my Vecna Eve of Ruin friends and some other folks that I haven't had the opportunity to play with yet, all supporting St. Jude's Children's Fund. And like I said, what a birthday to start the day with D&D and end the day with D&D. I'm all set up for my exorbitant amount of dumplings for dinner. So anyway, that being said, before the YouTube comments are like, it takes him 10 minutes to get into the video, blah, 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 blah. Fine. We'll get into the video now. It's only 6 minutes. It's 6 minutes and 54 seconds, this video. But it also is probably actually less than that because ultimately there's going to be like the promo at the end. So I don't know how many dragons we're going to reveal. Like I said, the gold dragon seems to be the most infamous change that we've seen thus far, which seems to be a drastic change to the more kind of snake-like, like Chinese style dragon, more to the first and second edition design, as opposed to the kind of more, I'll call it traditional, like European style dragon that we've seen. It still has some vague aspects of that with its wings, in the current edition version, but we're going to be seemingly getting a new version of that. So let's go ahead and watch this. We're not going to speed it up or do anything funky with it. It is literally a 7-minute video, so we'll just watch it. For those who are interested, I pinned a comment at the top of the video here on YouTube There's links there to my throne and my Amazon wish list. Again, just throwing it out there. People ask, so it's there. Let's go ahead and dive into this video. Let me get us set up here. I'll put on the closed captions and we'll make sure, and we'll rewind it all the way. All right, let's go ahead and watch this video on Dragon redesign.
The Gold Dragon redesign is very much harkening back to the earliest edition.
I mean, there it is, right? You can still see remnants of the current edition wings right there, kind of like here in the middle, right here. But this is very different. The Gold Dragon in current edition of 5th edition, like I guess the 2014 version, is still a very much traditional dragon body. And if you guys can see it, you can look it up on, you know, any of the pictures on the internet. I can go grab, I have a Gold Dragon mini in the other room. We can look at it, but let's see what else they have to say.
Editions of how Gold Dragons looked, and this is kind of merging two different editions into one. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when we did all of the dragons together, when we were looking at them all, the way that I approached that was basically 2 casts of 5 with a larger cast of 10, right? So thinking about them as characters. My perspective on character design or creature design is if it's a thing that can talk and walk and has motives and motivation, it's a character. It's not actually a creature, it's not a monster. So how do we look at these characters as a set of 10 and how do we differentiate them? So we got a chance to kind of approach them almost from a...
Here is the new Black Dragon art. It is very similar in some aspects with these sort of horns. The horns look drastically more like, this is just a beautiful piece of art here. It almost looks, you guys see this? It kind of almost looks skull-like on the front, which I think is pretty cool. Like, it's still got the horns, right? The horns are still kind of reminiscent of the current, they're a little more, like, these are much more, like, wider and swept back than the kind of current ones, which are very kind of close and rounded. But if you look, this does look to be like pale, almost pale white, as though it is a skull-like face. And then you've got these kind of like spikes or whatever spines are very different looking than the current design.
From a, not, I wouldn't say a clean slate, but looking at what was there in 2014.
Oh, here's, what did we say? You say you could see the, oh yeah, look, okay. This, you can't read the text, but this is very clearly fighter page, right? Because you can see right up here, second wind and weapon mastery. So, you know, you can see that there, you know, looks like fighter gets 5 weapon masteries and at least 3 second winds from what we could see over here. And then there's some form of text over here describes, this looks to be a piece of the fighter page here.
Not, I wouldn't say a clean slate, but looking at...
And here is very clearly a red dragon art. Now this, at least in this particular image, this image of a red dragon doesn't really look like it's varied too much from the current edition, which, you know, you don't have to change everything. So this one looks to be relatively similar to existing red dragons.
At what was there in 2014, looking at the text, reading the monster manual, reading every entry, understanding where they live, what their motivations are, where their biome is, and trying to...
Is this white? What color dragon is this? No, there's smoke coming out of there. This has got to be a metallic dragon of some kind? Or it's like, I don't know, what do you guys think this one is? Is this red? It's just not colored in? Like fully? Because it's like, maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but this does look mostly gray and white, right? Like this is just concept art. All right, so maybe this is the, okay. All right, so I guess it's red before the color. Okay, fair enough. If you look at this though, we can notice a little bit the horn structure, a little bit different than the 2014 version. And like the spines here on the tail, it does look slightly different than the current version.
Create visual designs that, you know, looking back at the previous editions, all of them, what was working really well there and what do we want to bring forward? And so we look at the Gold Dragon
concept. That's
a good example of, we liked kind of the first and second edition vibe of how it was there, and that was somewhat maintained in the 3rd through 5th edition.
Oh, look at this different, uh, like showing different kind of growth here. Gold dragons fully defy the laws of physics and stay afloat just by the amount of magic coursing through their body. They are constantly moving like a restless ribbon in water. We can see the wormling version and then a young version. This is cool.
Styles, but we wanted to kind of go back and harken back to that
And here we got more. You can see more of like the sort of whiskers here.
previous design in a way to help separate it from the crew.
Crush the hardest
because there
jewels.
was, you know, even within the metallics, the gold does sort of stand apart as being different in a way, right? It's more mysterious in a way, right? Mercurial. It likes to be in its own space. It likes to live isolated in a way, whereas the silver dragon is very opposite.
Okay, so here's our silver dragon. And this one's not really giving me too much different on this one. Like, I also thought this might have been like Bahamut. This is giving me like platinum dragon here, but it doesn't look too drastically different. And like I said, you don't have to change things just to change them. Some things it's okay. You can keep some of the original. So
right, it's personable. It's happy to engage and talk with people, and most of the other ones are too. It kind of felt like creating a separate creature entirely from like a metagaming, power gaming standpoint. Also, if you could create a perfect dragon
we
to
want
beat
more
the red
dragons,
dragon,
guys.
it would
Come on,
basically
less of
be
the
the
same art.
gold. Especially if you make it have wings where it doesn't need them to fly, because now what you have is you have a dragon that is immune to fire.
This is different red
So
dragon art.
one of the biggest threats. It can fly, but it doesn't need its wings, and it's aquatic, so it can breathe underwater for a long time. So you have a very easy.
Okay, so the horn pattern does appear to be slightly different here on the reds. This is a beautiful piece of art as well. But it looks like, at least from what we've currently seen, red and silver so far seem to be the closest to their original design.
Counter to your red dragon of basically a long coiling snake-like serpentine dragon in the gold that could wrap around a red dragon, be immune to fire, and then drown it.
And that still has a weakening spray as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. So there was a lot of thought in that of like, just feels like it makes sense.
I was struck by the loneliness of it just being in this isolated, dead civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And
We
it's
want to
just
see
swirling
other
in
stuff.
the center of all of
Yeah.
it. It's this very kind of beautiful, gorgeous thing amongst all this decay.
That was so much what we wanted, was that when you look at it, there's sort of a little bit of a sadness to that. There's a little bit of a quietness to that, a calmness to that, a little bit of like a melancholy, right? Where this is a creature that would sit and think about that types of stuff in a way. Like it's probably more interested in a ruined kingdom because of why it fell and how it fell, and thinking about history in that way. So creating an image that can hopefully evoke that right away, that this is a creature that is different, and the way that it thinks and acts is different. And we tried to do that very intentionally with all of the metallic illustrations of showing how they would interact with people. So on the silver dragon, it was showing sort of an opposite of the coin in the metallic. It's very different, right?
Yeah.
It's all about celebration, and it's this massive creature in the middle of this city or arena where it's like celebrating
Herringon. We've talked about this before, but there's a herringon right here up here in the front.
this war or something that they've come home to, and everybody is like happy that this is finally over, and their champion is kind of telling them that peace is here, right? Whereas the gold dragon is kind of isolated and alone and thinking about the future.
Okay, this is a different piece of art. We can see a wizard there. Dark patches around and beneath the eyes help the gold dragon to see, since they reduce the glare coming off the dragon's own shiny body. The antler-like horns never stop growing and reach an imposing, almost crown-like quality in ancient animals.
Sure, in a way.
So we're talking about dragons. I'm also really excited that we have this digital dragon art book that comes with anyone who pre-orders the digital physical bundle on D&D Beyond. And this is over.
Ooh. Hold on. Green dragon. Whoa. That is drastically
50
different.
pages. It's 100 pieces of art.
Look at that. Brand new green dragon art. It is kind of dolphin-like in its snout, and it's kind of doing the green dragon thing, kind of whispering and kind of manipulating. This guys, does this not look like the Master Sword right here? Like, look at that scabbard. I think it's probably this guy's sword because it kind of matches the banner that's over here. Also, notice that this is its tail over here on the bottom left. So I guess that's probably just like the scabbard that matches his armor or his like gambeson here. But here's like, I guess, a foot. But it does kind of look like the Master Sword.
There will be a lot of pieces only seen in this book, about 25 plus, where we're really showing the steps along.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's like snake-like with the mouth. Look at that. When feeling threatened, if it wants to threaten, the green dragon rears up to its full height, raising the neck frill. Oh, and a cobra-like hood. Oh, you can't really see because of the angle, but look at this. The cobra-like hood and presenting the full inner mouth, as well as venomous fangs, all while flashing the bright red warning colors on the wings. So it's got like it almost looks like monarch butterfly like style wings. Most things that see this display will be very dead very soon. Dude, this is cool. I'm digging this. The snake butterfly aspects because of the poison and the venom. This is pretty solid. I'm digging this a lot.
Along the way to these final designs. And we have a lot of really great orthographics of each dragon that really kind of illustrate
one other one.
The scenes, and these kind of bring the dragons to life. And so the other dragons had redesigns as well. Like,
they did.
How did you kind of like ramp up these classic designs?
Yeah, for each of them we wanted to play up what was there, right, especially in their personality. And the black dragon is,
I've seen a few of them. There are a few pieces of art in the player's handbook. So I've seen a couple others, but I'm curious if they'll show them here.
Basically all about ruin and death and decay and hate. It's evil and it's the purest incarnation of evil.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, see how it kind of has this like skull face? Like it like is white as opposed to like all of the black here, and this is kind of almost like a skull. That's pretty cool.
And the fact that it hates everything, it probably hates itself. It just genuinely is a despicable creature. So how do you portray that? When you look at this creature, this character, you should have zero questions that this is an evil creature. This is a bad creature.
Oh, it's almost like xenomorphic in nature, right? I'm getting kind of like xenomorphic vibes from it. And look at the horns, how far swept back they are. And look at, you could see the whole face is this white skull. Like, dude. Regardless, I will say this, with my full chest, and I will die on this hill. Regardless of how you feel about the 2024 core rulebooks, whether or not you like the fact or you hate the fact, one, that they're even doing them, or you don't like the changes they're making to your class or what have you, the art is so good. And like, think about how many artists they had to pay, because it's not the same artists. I know from looking at like the credits of the PHB, there's like 30 plus or more artists involved with just the PHB alone. So I have to imagine the monster manual is equally a huge amount. So they are paying for so much for these like epic art pieces, and I love that.
Sure that this is something you can try to parlay with and talk with, but the likelihood of it is not super high. If it goes.
Ooh, yeah, Black Dragonborn having the skull face, such a cool idea.
Going well. So we really wanted to play up, sort of that. I remember actually reading the 2014 manual. I think it said something along the lines of when an ancient dragon.
Oh, the horns! Look at how the horns grew. Dude. Oh my god, this is so good. The art is so good. Oh, is there somebody at my front door? Is it my dad? Oh, nope, it's FedEx. Oh, somebody's dropping off a package at my house. Dude, I love this. And like the kind of sickly, like bluish green glow in the eyes.
Gets to that age.
Oh, thanks, Claire.
That the skin starts to slough off of its face.
Oh,
and so just thinking
good,
about what does that look like.
Come on, show us
There's
another
probably bones
metallic.
under there. There's probably really thin skin that's like stuck to its face.
Oh, do you see this? Look, this is like a younger one where there's still skin before it's like melted off to the skull. Look at that. Dude, they put so much effort into this. Like, I'm loving this.
You know, so making that almost translucent, and just exploring what that could be to play up the sort of what you could.
No,
there,
there's not
and
time
a
for
lot
another
to play
dragon
with
reveal.
there,
Come on,
actually,
give
to
us
make
one
this
more.
creature feel really, really gross and really evil.
And then the red dragon has this, it's
No,
massive. I mean,
no,
you get a
no.
sense of how massive the silver.
Don't give me a red dragon. Come on, give us like a copper. I think there is copper art out there somewhere.
Dragon is, because you have the context of the crowd around it in this arena. The red dragon is just enormous.
It's huge. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big one. Yeah. Yeah, the red dragon is huge. We wanted to update the red, and the red was the one we probably updated the least. You know, it's sort of the most iconic. The things we wanted to play up with that one most was sort of the threat. If you think about a cast of 5, what is that leader of those 5 kind of like, right? So this is the apex predator in a way of all of the chromatics, and in a way of all of the true dragons. So bigger, more ferocious, more angry, more vain.
This is cool with the fire here.
More terrifying, is whatever we can do to like push that, is what we were going for.
And you can get the digital dragon art book as a bonus for anyone on D&D Beyond who pre-orders the 2024 core rulebooks digital.
Do you think you get it now? Because I might just go do this. If we get to look at the book right now, should we do that? Let's go do that. Let's see if we get it right now. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find the 2024. All right, let's go. Let's just go do the pre-order right now and get the dragon art book. Okay, let's do it. Well, let's find out. Right, I'm gonna do it so you don't have to. Okay. Also, I just noticed here, there's a different piece of art for the gold dragon for the virtual tabletop. This is new. Also, some new art here. We got some spell art where this looks to be the new Otiug art, I guess. All right, that's new. We haven't seen this before, so that is a new piece of art that you're seeing right here. All right, let me go back, place the order, and order placed. Yeah, we will do that with that image. All right, order placed. Thank you. Pre-order, pre-order, pre-order. Okay. Now let's see if we can find this art book. If it's available now. Because I think they said like all the dice and stuff are available now. I'm looking. Planescape. Ventures. Okay. Maybe you don't get it now. Yeah, all right, let's see. Because I think you can get, if we look, you get the dice and I think like the frames. So if we were to go to like my dice. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's the 2024 Player's Handbook dice. These are all available right now. At least these ones anyway. So, all right, let's go to a character sheet. And check out like the character frames. Okay, manage frames. $2024, yeah. Dice, good, neutral, evil. Animated evil. Animated neutral good. Animated good. Animated neutral evil. Interesting that there's no chaotic in there or lawful. So we have the character frames, we have the dice. We'll go ahead and look out of that. We can roll a couple d20s here. So that's the wizard dice. We'll roll a couple more, see if we can get a natural 20. No, just to see if we can see if it has any special effects on the 20. Well, that was a 20 over here, I think. No. Okay, so nothing there. All right, time to keep searching for the source book. There's one set of dice that is not released yet, and it's the specific ones listed with the art book. All right, so I guess maybe we don't get the art book. That's a bummer. I understand, that they didn't do that. Well, that'd be awesome. Let me just check my email real quick and see if there's something in there. Let's look. Okay. Confirmation of order. Digital products. Your digital purchase is now available on D&D Beyond. It says. Yeah, that's why I'm hoping I could find this art book. I would love to do that. Not seeing where it would be. Get the exclusives. I want the exclusives. I did the thing. I'm under the assumption that the digital art book would be available here. Also, because you can buy other things here on the website, like physical things, character sheets, Dungeon Master screen, the making of D&D. Yeah, I'm not seeing an option for where it is. Maybe it's under my account? Order history? Maybe? See order details. Okay. Digital items, physical items. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I was really, it was wishful thinking that we would have gotten the art book this early. So I was holding out hope that maybe we would get it, but Thank you, Dark Winters. Thank you again to everybody who's been, for all the birthday wishes. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not seeing any art books here, so I think we're unfortunately not going to be able to review it now, which is a bummer. Let's go ahead and see if we can find 2024 D&D 2024 Dragon art, because there's a couple pieces that I don't think they didn't show that have been shown. Okay, here's one. Here's the. Let's see. Okay, got it. All right, you ready? All right, here is the white dragon. Take a look at this. Zoom it out a little bit. Maybe going a little bit more. So, barbed tail on the white dragon here. Also notice like the split lower jaw here. Here is our black dragon, right, with the skull face again, right? Here is like the green with the sort of like chest and the. These don't look what they just showed though, so I'm wondering if this is accurate or if this is just somebody's. I don't know if I believe these are true, to be honest with you. I'm not certain. Because you think they would have shown these somewhere. So I'm wondering if this is just somebody did this. So I do have questions to confirm whether these are actually accurate. Because this is kind of close to what we saw for the green. If this is actually the blue, this is wild. And that is pretty similar to the red. This is pretty sweet. Now, see, that doesn't really look like the dolphin-shaped look that they had with the green. Here's the gold. Yeah. All right, I'm going to keep searching. 'Cause I'm not sure if those are accurate. This one is. I know this one is. Which is the new bronze. This one is a definitive one, right? The new bronze dragon art. This is a little bit of a departure from what they have. Not too much, but definitely more like white on the underside of the wings and like on the belly. That's different. So very much a different design for the bronze. This is from the Game Informer article. There is a piece of copper art, I believe, floating around. So I'm going to look for that real quick, and then I'll pull that up if I have it. Oh, here it is. Found it. Check this. Copper dragon, and then wormlings of all the other ones with some other creatures here. So, look at the difference in the neck. It's like this copper, it's got a very snake-like looking neck here. And then here's the blue, which that might actually have been pretty close now, looking at the blue down here in the bottom with this new kind of design. But like this piece doesn't really look like this is the gold. We just saw the wormling, so I don't know if this is obviously also a stylistic piece too, right? So consider that, because here's like a red, but here's also a red, and they look drastically different. So yeah, this kind of looks like, could this be? This might not, because I saw this making its way around and people posting this, but now I'm wondering if this one's a real piece of art either. I have questions. So, I thought this was legit, but maybe not. That's the tricky part. All we know is kind of what we can officially say that we've seen. So, it's listed. If people are saying it's old, but it's got 2024. If you look down in the bottom corner here, oh, you can't see it because I'm in the way. Hang on. It has 2024 as the date down here, but I don't know. Confirmed, we've seen the black dragon art in the video. Much more update. Clearer imagery there. We've seen the silver dragon. We've seen the red, the gold, the bronze, and that like one kind of porpoise-looking nose version of the green. Let's see. There is that one piece. Okay, this is. Let's see. There is this piece. We've seen this piece go around. Here with Tiamat. This is official art. I know this. So you can see here is this has this skull-like black. Here has this the porpoise nose green up here and the red. So it does look like this kind of with the horn looking thing is what the blue's going to look like. And here looks like this is what the white looks like now. So just giving you an idea of kind of what we're looking at. These do appear to be the new designs. So it does look like that. The white looks different from that one art that I thought was legit. Doesn't seem to be. The blue does look relatively similar though. And again, as a perspective, here's like a caster, two casters attacking Tiamat. Here's again the black. This is becoming a much more iconic piece. We're seeing a bunch. I love that you can actually see it melting through the shield here. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, hang on. Ooh, hold on. We got better. Here's another green dragon one. Yeah. So this is for like the art of the monster manual. So here we can also see, which has me hopeful, because you can see that this green dragon is casting a spell. So I'm hopeful that this means that they're bringing back dragons as spellcasters as part of like the core class, or maybe just for some of them, or the core monster, as opposed to it being like a little sidebar. It is clearly casting some form of a spell here, so I'm hopeful that at least maybe, like I said, maybe it won't be all of them. Maybe it'll just be the more intelligent ones, like the green dragon, for example. The copper one did look AI made based on some of the eyes that we saw, but I'm going to just ignore that one and go with the ones that we can confirm are official. So this is an official piece of art because this comes from like when they're listing off in the bundles and stuff. So yeah, I would doubt that white dragons would have spell casting, but greens it would make sense to. So let's see if we can find anything else here. Okay. Here is this one we've seen. This is the original. This is kind of the zoomed out version of the black dragon art. This is one I saw back in April of last year. And then here's somebody clearly like scrying on Tiamat. Kind of get another look at some of those. All right, let's keep looking. Gizmodo had an article on Green Dragon with several pieces of art. Okay. Let's go look for that. Gizmodo, you said. Let me just first take a look at the rest of this posting, see if we see any others here. We saw the Tiamat art. That was a big one. Oh, man. Dampa, thank you for gifting all the memberships here. That's so awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh, what is this? Oh, hang on. Take a look at this one. You can see the skull melting off here. Look at that. Skin sloughing off the skull. That's awesome. Let's keep looking. See if we can find some other pieces of art. Here is red. Green, black, gold, silver, bronze. It is also interesting to me that like they're just actually in the process of re-releasing the Tyranny of Dragons miniature line from WizKids, but like they're working on designing those, and those are all I think the 2014 designs, and it's like you guys got to stop designing those. So according to, oh, thank you, Steve, appreciate it. Yeah, let's I'll be around at Gen Con. I will be definitely definitely be around. I got a bunch of stuff to do, some giveaways. I got to work on some stuff, but I have so many like extra books and things. I'm just gonna bring a stack of them in the car, and then basically say something along the lines of like, first person to find me gets to pull a thing from the bag of tricks and get yourself a new book, or minis or whatever I can't bring with me. Just looking to see if these have any extra pieces of art. Okay, here's one. This was from the new spell video. Here's another piece. Is this the bronze again, showing the underside with all the white? It is a Power Ranger shirt. I could very much see how you would get Green Lantern, though. It does have very much lantern looking vibes, this. Ted's orange bag of tricks. We could probably even do that ourselves. Yeah, we're not really getting. Here's again more Black Dragon. Oh, okay. This looks legit. This just matches up with what we saw, the Black Dragon art. Just scrolling, looking for. Again, the Dragonborn seem to mimic that. We haven't seen, I don't think, a black. Here's a look at here's the blue with the horn. I don't think we've actually seen a black Dragonborn in any of the art that we've seen thus far to show like if they have the skull going as well. A lot of people are saying that art, the Copper Dragon art. Oh, could this be maybe a black dragon? But we can't really see because they've got the helmet on. Here's the red. This looks to be the green, I think. Or it looks at least closer to what we saw, although it doesn't match the stuff that we saw in the actual video. Yeah. It's unfortunate because there's just like, there could be a lot of misinformation just out there floating around. So, yeah, very snake-like indeed. That was from the Gizmodo article. Okay. It looked different than what we just saw in the video. So maybe, they do have the opportunity, right? Especially in the monster manual, considering that's not coming out till February. It looks like from what we're seeing now, WotC's turnaround time on like book to printer to table, essentially, if you will, is only like 3 months for them. That's from the Gizmodo article. Yeah, you guys keep saying, so that must be. All right, Gizmodo. All right, here it is. Found that art. Let's go pull it up. Or found that article, rather. Start slideshow. Here we go. Open link in new tab. Showing more of the snake-like nature here. Oh, here's that piece we just saw. Spitting out the poison gas. Here's again oh, this is different too. Different. Oh, yeah, see here you can see, okay, this looks Look at this. Here you can see the hood, the kind of snake-like hood of it, and then here's the red on the wings. I love this art. This art's fantastic. Yeah, there's a potential that a handful of these could be concept. This is a final art piece. I'm positive of that. I love that. Yeah. I really am digging how they're trying to, like, while the dragons all kind of had their own identity in, the color of their scales, the breath weapon that they do, personality wise, they all were still kind of a general similar form factor, if you will. These new changes really do go a long way to, like, diversify the look of the dragons, and I really, really like that a lot. So, I mean, again, I'm curious to see what the final changes are. We still have till February before we get to see the monster manual. Well, we might see stat blocks or other things popping up here and there, but yeah, I'm curious to see. Like, we haven't seen if that one was actually a real piece of art. We've seen copper, but I think we've seen what, brass but not bronze, I think, or maybe it's bronze and not brass. And then we haven't had like a good look at the white or the blue dragons officially. But yeah, I'm digging this a lot. So yeah. Um, something I did notice, they did put out an article on D&D Beyond for the Bard. They still have not put out that Sorcerer article, which I think is an odd choice given the fact that they've done everything else. Did you get early access to the pre-order Dragon art book? No, I did not. I would told you if I could. That's why I went and pre-ordered the I did it here. I pre-ordered. I couldn't find the art book if it's available somewhere. Um I'm not sure. I don't see any way to find the art book. Regardless, once the art book does go live, whenever that is, I will definitely do a live stream dedicated to just checking out and like geeking out over the art of the Dragon art book. Excuse me. Yeah, not giving me access to my for my birthday. Ugh. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna have for lunch. And then Dumpling Fest is all set up for this evening. I'm pretty excited about that. Ooh, hang on. A package from NECA was delivered? Ooh, WizKids sent me something. I'm off the night shift for the moment. Oh, okay. Why don't we take like a short break? I'll run an ad. You guys aren't gonna miss anything. I'll run an ad here. I think I can do that if I click this button. No shifts in NDAs or anything. No word on here. You know what? I'm gonna check this right now. Let's see. And I never got a response on that. What was the Oh, here we go. Any that updated. So there, I just sent another email asking about we were supposed to see an updated version. I didn't click run ad yet, so that's on me. So I'm I'll run an ad here. You're not gonna miss anything. I'm gonna go run up and grab whatever that package is from WizKids, and we'll go see what that is. How about a nice little, maybe it's a cool little birthday present for me. All right, so I'm gonna try to run this ad and see if this works. So here we go. Be right back. really worked or not. So much easier to run ads on Twitch than it is to run ads on YouTube. So it was supposed to run. I might just add one in for people watching it back, because I know, like, if I let YouTube run the ads for me, it'll just it'll do it in the middle of the stream. No, chair stream. All right, well, sorry. I don't know why it would have the option to literally click to insert ad, but could be, everybody's got YouTube Premium. So let's go ahead and see. These are both from NECA, these boxes. Could it be a birthday stream? Or birthday pack present for me? I doubt it. They've never done that before. I don't know why they'd start now. That's really taped up pretty good. See. Oh wow. Okay, we got a bunch of stuff. We got D&D, Icons of the Realm. I will do unboxings, like full videos on all these, because I have a bunch of WizKids stuff to do. We have the Kuatoa Warband here. So that's, what's that, 5 Kuatoa minis. We have a Pathfinder box. We have the Pathfinder Battles Adult Underworld Dragon. So there's this here. The Adult Underworld Dragon from Pathfinder. It's a pretty cool looking design. And we have Miska the Wolf Spider from Vecna Eve of Ruin. So that's pretty exciting. I'm very excited about that one. And we have this, I'm going to guess, is a mini brick, because this looks like a brick size box. So we will see. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's like a sword. Wouldn't that be wild? I was like, so when it comes to WizKids, like, I always just tell them, send me whatever you got, and then it shows up. So it's kind of just like a mini Christmas all the time. Yeah, it's a brick. Oh, wait. Ooh. We got the Vecna Eve of Ruin's Spider Dragon. All right, that's pretty cool. And a brick of the Vecna Eve of Ruin set of miniatures. So, yeah, because I have a bunch of stuff next door that I haven't unboxed yet from WizKids. I have this giant freaking Tomb of Annihilation box. It's huge. So yeah, I have a lot. I have to, I need to just get my my unboxing rig set up again and just churn through unboxings, because I have so many sets of miniatures to unbox. The problem that I keep running into is I don't have a place to put them all. I'm literally running out of room to store all of my minis. Thank you, Jay Wall. Thank you to everybody for the birthday wishes. Yeah. So I'm excited. Seems like, I'm gonna guess, based on what happened in my last Vecna Eve of Ruin episode, that we are likely going to be encountering this spider dragon. Because of where we're ending up. So I imagine the spider dragon is in our near future, which is absolutely terrifying. Yeah, I'm basically getting into creative storage mode now for these things, like where I gotta like replace all the doors with like hidden Murphy doors, where the doors are now also bookshelves, so that I can store all of this because I have, uh, I've got too many books, and I do give the minis away when I have duplicates of them. So like I have, I think, is it Fandelver and Below? Oh, is it the 50th anniversary? I have some where I get like sometimes WizKid sends me the brick like this, which is just a random minis. And then other times they send me a box, and inside the box it's one of every mini. Sometimes they send me both. They'll send me the brick and then the box with one of every mini inside it. And then like I'll do the unboxing with the minis where you get to see every single mini. Um I let my boys touch all, like they're allowed to play around with the minis and stuff like that. They're pretty good about it. They love D&D. They like making up their own little D&D games. Like where they'll like take some minis and they'll like set up a map, and you know, until probably more recently they don't I mean, for the longest time that's the reason why I have a D&D room, so I can just shut the door and like that's where the minis stay, so it's not like spread out everywhere, but now it's obviously just piles of crap everywhere. Um but no, we were on vacation last week, and my oldest played one game really the previous year, but I don't think he really remembered or like fully understood like exactly how it works. And this time, like he had his tablet with his character sheet on it and was like tapping to roll his like abilities and stuff like that. So he like I think he gets it more. And I think my youngest kind of started to get it more as well, like exactly how the game works. So, you have numbers that you have to look at, and then you make a roll, and you add them together and stuff like that. So it's starting to click for them more, I think. And like now they're definitely into it for sure. So, but no, it's they're pretty understanding of like you know these are daddy's things, but like you're allowed to play with them. And like I used to, when they were really little, I had a rule like you could take one mini out of the room, and to get a different one, you got to bring that one back, right? So you can swap them out. But now they're older, and I also just the minis are spilling over into everywhere, you know. Um, so I have to come up with figure out what I'm gonna do, and I just got a whole bunch more just showed up from a different company. So I've got to do the unboxings, and yeah, I do like I gave away what did I give away? A Demogorgon, because I had an extra Demogorgon mini showed up, and I gave away a Baphomet as well. I have a whole bunch of flat pack 2D minis from WizKids. I'm gonna give those all away, because I have no need for those. So I do try to give back to the community. I must selfishly keep the ones that I want for myself, but any of the ones that don't kind of fit that, I definitely want to issue those back to the community in whatever way I can. Um, yeah. This is exciting. It just like, it also kind of fits as like a birthday stream to like go be like, oh look, I got packages with stuff in it, which is pretty cool. Um, so that's exciting. I'm excited to dive into these. I'm very curious about like what the stats are on an underworld dragon. Underworld dragons embody the pressure between tectonic plates, the heat behind geysers, and the flash fires that ignite when the conditions are just right. Natural alchemists, they innately understand reagents and catalysts. While some research the effects of magic on material reactions, the majority of the underworld dragons concentrate on building their hoards. They scour the world for carved gemstones and artifacts of precious minerals, both of which they see as distilled essence of Earth's bounty. Has a tongue that's interchangeable for like the fireball, fire breath. Um, I kind of had to discover my nerdiness on my own, Sarah. So I get it. It's just um, my parents were kind of nerdy about certain things, but not like traditional, like nerdy, if that makes sense. Um, so Yeah, I should get to unboxing. I have to finish building the D&D Lego set. Because I have just like Lego pieces, like bags of Legos everywhere, so I got to get to doing that. Then the problem becomes, as with all of this, is where do I put it? Because having this awesome like Lego thing, I gotta have a place to store it. So I gotta start coming up with creative solutions here. But yeah. You know what? Also, I don't think we have a schedule. I think are we done? Um, are we done with like with reveal videos for a bit? Because I don't believe I'm gonna check Twitter, but I don't think D&D released a schedule for next week. Because we've covered every single player's handbook class. We covered the classes. We covered crafting to some degree. We did, I think, spells, and we just covered the dragons, which aren't even in the player's handbook. So, yeah, I don't see. Let's Dungeons and Dragons. What does Wizards have to say? Did they give us a list? Wizards. Yeah. Some stuff here about Lost Caverns of Sojanth, because I believe that is, and like Quest from the Infinite Staircase, I think that's out actually now. So I might be able, should probably be making videos on that as well. You know, at least talk about the magic items and things, because some of the art and the magic items from it are pretty cool. But yeah, I don't see a schedule for next week. So, oh, you know what? We can talk about it here real quick. The D&D stamps are finally out from Royal Mail. So showcasing the stamp collections here, like postcards and whatnot for D&D. So if that's your thing, that's an option for you from Royal Mail. So they're available worldwide. Let's see. Here they are. So you can get like different stamps, get them framed versions of them, little medals and stamp books and things. So, you know, if you're down for that, if you're what is it called when you collect stamps? A philatelist? Is that what that is? You could definitely pick some of these up. So, okay. So Todd said Meta Magic would have its own video. So okay. Let's see. Just double check they didn't add any other videos while we were talking. Okay. Yeah, no. So Quest for the Infinite Staircase, I think it's technically next week for like the general public, but I think it is in early access at the moment. So I might do some content on that a little bit since we have a little downtime with no videos on the near horizon. Also, they're going to be gearing up to go to Gen Con as well. And again, for those of you who don't know, there is going to be like an exclusive invite thing that on the, what is it, the 30th? So that, or the 31st. That's the Wednesday, but technically before Gen Con officially starts. They're doing a press briefing, and they did invite me to be a part of the press briefing, which is kind of exciting because I do kind of do press, right? And like news coverage. And I've never actually been invited to one of these like press things. So I don't know what they're going to go over. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say like while I'm in it, but I will be at this press event. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to learn whatever they're going to teach me or tell me, and then, you know, share with you guys as much as I can as soon as I can, whether that's something like live tweeting the entire thing if I'm allowed to do that, or making a video after the fact. But yeah, so that'll be more to come on that during Gen Con, and then that's the 30th or the 31st. That's the 31st, and then the 1st of August, the embargo on the Player's Handbook ends. So then we can start talking about that. I don't think they've gone out of their way to mention what two-weapon fighting is. Like is in like something different. I think it's pretty much just like you're gonna be looking at the same stuff. Because they haven't really said otherwise. They've been pretty good about like in those players' handbook, like class reveals and all that kind of stuff. Like they're like people that are holding out for like, oh, maybe they have this cool feature that they didn't announce. And it's like if there was a cool new feature, they would have announced it, right? Like I'm like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they were kind of giving you all of the rundown. No, I did not get the updated PDF. I sent an email asking just to, is there any update on the timeline for that? And I have not heard back yet. So, yeah. So. But yeah. So I'll have videos once the Player's Handbook embargo drops. We'll cover all the classes, all the subclasses. There is a couple of things I'm like some areas that I'm not allowed to talk about, like a handful of pages. So I won't obviously talk about those. But I can be upfront that I'm not allowed, or sorry, I'm not allowed to show them like on the screen, but I can talk about them, I think is what they said. So yeah, you can't showcase, and I don't remember if it's just like stat blocks or whatever it is, but they don't want you to showcase like a section of the player's handbook on screen. You can talk about it, but you can't show it. So, but that's only like specific. That's the very small amount of the overall book. So it sounds like, and I did actually, for what it's worth, I did actually reach out to them and ask the question like, hey, I'd like to have a conversation before the embargo releases because I want to start pre-recording content. Is it possible to sit down and just talk about like the extent of the embargo so I kind of fully understand what I'm allowed to say and show and what I'm not allowed to say and show? And I did that maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago at this point, and I haven't heard anything back. So I don't know if I will because I imagine everything's pretty hectic there right now. Do we want to be completely spoiled with every detail? That's up to you, Jason. Don't watch the videos if you don't want to be spoiled because I'm going to go through all the stuff. So also you'd be able to get this information roughly a month earlier than you would by the time you're even able to get early access to these. Those would be available like in early, I think it's early September is when like the general public will have access to them via the early access on D&D Beyond or through a local game store. So you could have that information a whole month early. So you could sit on it and wait until you have the book in hand and then go watch the video. But that's up to you. You guys, you know what's probably my favorite thing that happens is every time we talk about this stuff is all the creative ways you guys are like, blink 3 times if this is in the book, or say this weird word, weave it into the conversation if this is in the book. Yeah. So early access is 20 to the 23rd. Is that when it is? On D&D Beyond? Let's see. Does it say? Player's Handbook. It says that the release date is the 17th of September. Is the release date for the Player's Handbook. D&D Beyond subscribers also enjoy early access. Does it tell us how early the early access is? I don't think it does. Oh, wait, maybe it does. If we scroll down more. No, I'm not seeing it. 2 weeks for Master Tier, 1 week for Hero. Okay, so September 3rd. So yeah, it'll be basically a full month prior we can start talking about it. If you go to that press thing, could you ask why non-US people can't buy the digital physical bundle? I could certainly try. I don't know. I really, like I said, this will be my first official press event. I don't know the logistics of how it works, but if I talk to it, I'll try to ask it in the room. But if not, I will. You know what? If you have the opportunity, and you have other thoughts about this, especially as someone who's international and has different thoughts about like how these bundles and stuff work and how you can what you can access and what you can't. If you want to like type that up and like shoot that over to me in like a Discord DM or a Twitter DM or something, I will definitely take it with me to try to have that conversation. And I might not be able to do it in the course of the press briefing, but I might be able to like pull somebody aside after the fact and be like, "Hey, can you like give me the skinny on what's going on with this?" And then we can go from there. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll give it a shot. Worst case scenario, they don't answer me or I don't have time to get in there. I mean, I would assume it's probably a shipping thing. I think they're doing a lot of their printing domestic, if that matters, but so again, Weird Wizard, I mean, the virtual tabletop's an interesting situation because it was like all gung ho on that last year. And then, like I said, I played it like 3 times. I probably have more experience in the virtual tabletop for this than most others out there, right? I've tried a handful of different versions over several months. And like I said, they had a newer build with a full adventure and the full builder December 1st of last year at PAX Unplugged. Now, granted, they were supposed to already have the beta rolled out to the Master Tier D&D Beyond subscribers by this point in the year. They obviously don't have that. So maybe that'll be coming soon. But if the folks who work on the virtual tabletop are present at Gen Con, I will absolutely ask the question and see if we can even get like what else. Are there any kind of crazy endeavors going on with that? What's the timeline? Realistically, like how soon do we see that available? Uh, what's the payment structure for this? If I buy, if I've already bought the books physically and I've already bought the books on D&D Beyond, do I need to rebuy the books in the virtual tabletop? Stuff like that. So I don't know. Ugh. I'm actually kind of tired, folks. So I think what I might do is bring this stream to an end. Like I said, you guys are awesome. Thank you again to everybody who donated the super chats. Thank you to everybody for the gifted memberships here. Really appreciate that. As I mentioned at the top is a pinned comment here with my throne and my Amazon wish list if people are interested in that. I'm going to go have a good birthday, try to get some stuff done before, Dumpling Fest 2024 starts this evening. And then hopefully I'll catch you over on Captain Robert's channel, twitch.tv/Captain Robert, where I will be in that charity stream in like just a little bit more than 6 hours from now, raising money for St. Jude's. And you guys can feel free to swing by and donate to tweak the fate of the game by, if you want to give the DM weird things like a draw of the deck of many things, or you want to just support me in that game and, support a charity and a good cause, but give my character things like inspiration dies or rerolls or what have you. I do always look tired. That's true. That's never changed. I'm always tired. That's my secret cap. I'm always tired. So I will not be Lagwin, the chosen one in this game. Tim saying Lagwin. I got to talk to Jordan. I'm going to talk to him at Gen Con about like timelines about could we ever get the Great Modron March game back up and running. But no, I will be playing Axton Fletcher, who is an old character of mine from 8 years ago. He's a Tempest Domain cleric. He wields a maul. He's a if you guys recall back when I did a video about my Tempest cleric build that uses Eldritch Knight Fighter mixed in there to just do stupid amounts of damage with Booming Blade. It's that build. And that's a character I haven't played in like 8 years. So I'm bringing him back and updated him to be level 11 for this campaign. And we also live in the world of new magical items. So I've got that going for me, where we've got a really cool set of plate mail. The Knight's Plate of Companionship, I believe it's called, from what's it called? From Book of Many Things. That is like just magical plate mail that lets you summon a knight to fight with you. Similar to a lesser version of the Knight card from the Deck of Many Things. So I'm really excited to pull that out in the fight. And the goal is just make him a fan favorite. And I just get invited to more stuff to play as that character, you know? So, anyway. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope to catch you later. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. His AC is only as a 19. It's just a 19. So, anyway. I'll hang on. Before I go, because people are just going to ask, I'll just link you the character sheet, all right? I'll link it here in chat. You can go see it for yourself. I feel like that is the easiest way to just answer the questions that everybody has. We'll just nip it in the bud. You want to see my character for tonight's charity game? There's the D&D Beyond character sheet. I'm going to just check that it's set to public. And then you guys can go... It is, so you can feel free to go in and check out the character sheet. So, anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.